right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this month's member update. I'm sorry it's a little late this month, but sometimes life comes at you fast. I'm Shane Hoffman, National Committee member, and this month we'll be talking with Bill Fleming, Party Treasurer, and also on the National Committee. Bill, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Shane.
Uh, so, can you just tell us a little bit about your background and what attracted you to the ASP to begin with?
Yeah, professionally, I'm an engineer, and I am currently living in the state of Georgia, although I'm originally from the New York City area. Um, and what attracted me to the ASP was, like a lot of people back in 2020, I was not very pleased with the options that were being offered. And so, after doing a lot of research and looking up, where else I could place my vote, I found the American Solidarity Party. Um, and I got involved fairly quickly. We were at the time organizing the state party in Georgia, so I got involved in that process. I got involved in the Carroll campaign, and on the Carroll campaign, I was responsible for certified right and access in about 8 states, which we achieved almost all of those. So that was very exciting. So that was my first involvement in the party.
Excellent. I guess the next question, people are going to want to know a little bit about what it is the treasurer does, what we're working on right now that's exciting, because we all know that treasurer work is some of the most exciting stuff and everybody just lines up to do it. What can you tell us about what's going on?
It's not particularly exciting unless you're an accountant, I suppose, which I am not. But thankfully, we have an excellent bookkeeper on staff who does great work for us. And the bulk of the work, really, for me, is um, helping members with their memberships if they're having issues in terms of recurring donations or getting donations set up. It's signing off on FEC reports that we file, and also signing off on tax stuff. So, it is beneficial, I suppose, that I have a decently strong math background given my professional experience. But yeah, it's not really my particular forte, but I've taken it on, and things have been going pretty well.
All right, thank you, Bill. Now, I think we'll talk about something that I'm hoping everybody's really excited about. We are getting into election season for the party. It's time to start thinking about and campaigning to be a delegate to the National Convention. And this year, it's going to run at the exact same time as the presidential election. So we will have people campaigning for delegate, for president, and for the national committee all at the same time. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be busy. So let's start talking about the specifics of what's going to go on here. All right. First, let's talk a little bit about what is the delegate convention. The short version of that is we elect members to get together for a weekend. It can be up to 2 weeks, but we've always got this out of the way on a weekend. And we conduct party business. This year, we will be voting on the vice presidential nominee. The party at large elects the presidential candidate, but then the delegate convention elects the vice presidential candidate. We will be electing on, I believe, Saturday morning, the new members of the National Committee. And through the course of the week, we will be ratifying a new platform, which will be the main topic of discussion through this convention. There will almost certainly be some bylaws changes that will be happening. We'll talk about the standing resolutions for the party, and there will probably be some other little bits of business, plus a virtual happy hour. For the delegate convention, let's see. What else do we have here? If you want to be a delegate to the convention, there are a couple of requirements. You have to be a voting member on May 9th of this year. And that is also the same date. If you want to vote in the elections, you have to be a voting member on May 9th. In order to be a voting member, you have to have made a donation of any size to the party in the last 12 months. And you have to fill out the affirmation statement. One of the requirements to be a voting member is also that you need to be 18 years of age. And to be a delegate, you will also need to sign the delegate agreement. And I don't happen to have that in front of me. Bill, do you have a little more information on what's in the delegate agreement that everybody has to sign in order to sit in the convention?
Yeah, so the delegate agreement essentially has three clauses in it. There's the duty of care, the duty of loyalty, and the duty of obligation. And so the duty of care is essentially a statement that says that you're going to make a good faith effort to be present and informed about the work of the convention. So you're um, signing off that you intend to be available to conduct the party business and that you'll make every effort you can to be informed about what is in front of the delegate convention, so that you can execute your fiduciary responsibility for the party. The duty of loyalty is a statement saying that you're going to do your best to put the party's interests above your own personal interests, and that you're going to use your judgment in order to determine what is in the best interest of the party. And then the duty of obligation is a statement saying that you're going to do you're going to use your best judgment to conduct the party business in a way that complies with both governmental laws and regulations, as well as our own internal governing regulations, which would be our bylaws.
Okay. And a few dates to be aware of as this comes in addition to May 9th. The elections will begin at the end of the final presidential primary debate on May 24th. Ballots will go out immediately following. And Bill, I think you can say a little bit more about how long voting is open and other dates to keep in mind.
Yeah, so as you said earlier, the deadline to be a voting member to either vote or participate in the convention is May 9th. So you need to be a voting member on May 9th. If you decide to run for delegate, then you have it'll probably be a couple of days before the ballots go out that you have to make your formal announcement. So we haven't set that deadline yet. That information will be forthcoming, as will the information for the roundtables that we typically do each year with all of the delegate candidates. But that period between May 9th and May 24th will be a period for all of the candidates for delegate to campaign within the party and share their vision for what they want to do at the convention. Once that ballot is sent out on the 24th, that ballot will be open for 1 week. And so the ballots will close on the 31st, and we'll have the results on June 1st. That will start the pre-convention period, which will run from June 1st until June 22nd. And then the formal convention will begin on June 22nd. And typically, as you said earlier, it's typically a weekend. This year, because we are doing a in-person convention, in it, it'll actually be spread over 2 weekends. And so that first weekend, June 23rd to June 25th, will be where we'll do the bulk of the actual business of the convention. And we'll do that over telecommunications. So over Teams, most likely. And then the second weekend, June 30th to July 2nd, is going to be the in-person portion of the convention, which the delegates are not obligated to attend. But that will be in Plano, Texas. Jack Turner has been working diligently on planning that, and he's going to be at our meeting in February to give us an update about the schedule and what that schedule is going to look like. But there's going to be a lot of speakers there, and we'll have some, fanfare and a chance to get to mingle with each other, and we'll have the presidential and vice presidential acceptance speeches. So there's a lot to look forward to there if you're going to be able to make it to that. And so that's basically what the schedule is like. Shane, I'll throw it back to you if you want to talk a little bit about the pre-convention period and your experience having been a delegate in that
Yeah.
period.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have done this as a delegate 3 years now, and I can tell you the pre-convention can be a little hectic. It's not too bad really, but it's the time when you should be learning about all of the things we will be voting on. We discuss all of the platform amendments. We'll be discussing the platform, which we will have a draft presented to us as a starting block for our discussions. We'll talk about these bylaws, updates, standing resolutions. So the 3 weeks leading up to the formal delegate convention will be done via telecommunications. There are very few live portions of that. There's just been a couple of optional items, usually for first-time delegates, to familiarize them with, how Robert's rules works and how, voting, speaking in turn, all of those good things. Most of it happens asynchronously, so there will be a message board or something where discussions take place so that you can kind of come and go over those couple of weeks. People also, the delegates tend to call and talk to each other. That it's not a requirement, but it's good to call your fellow delegates and, get to know them a little bit and, discuss the different things that are up for vote. Let's see, what else do we do here? And again, we have those 3 weeks to get caught up on everything and be prepared. The more prepared we are when that actual working convention comes up on the 23rd, the more smoothly it'll go, the more of our agenda items will happen, because that's where all of the voting will actually happen. We will vote on the proposals, any amendments, and that the actual convention weekend, you should be there for the entire weekend. And I'm not gonna joke. Some conventions are a lot of work. Some are a little easier. This year being a platform convention, it's probably going to be a little packed. We will start Friday night. There will be about probably a 3 or 4 hour session Friday night. Saturday morning, we will start by electing the new national committee members. Saturday will be a long day. We will go till sometime later in the evening with a break for lunch and dinner and that. And then we will start up again sometime Sunday afternoon. Everybody gets a chance to take care of their Sunday obligations before we come back together. And let's see, again, we will be discussing the vice presidential candidate and the platform, all of that. We should be finishing up Sunday night. We do have the opportunity to do more sessions if we have to, but the more prepared we are going through the pre-convention, the faster we'll get through our agenda at the actual delegate convention. And one thing I just want to make clear again is that you are not obligated to go to the live part of the convention. If you can, that is going to be a good time. So if you can go, that's great. There is absolutely no obligation to travel to Texas for this. The pre-convention and convention will all be done over telecommunication, over the internet. It'll be, streamed. Again, no obligation to travel there. Do we have anything else we need to go over there, Bill?
No, I think we covered most of it.
You know what I'll bet we should go over? I have a note here at the bottom that says, do not forget to tell them how to declare they want to be a delegate.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah, so as I said earlier, we haven't set the deadline for declaring your candidacy. But the way that will work is sometime you can pretty much declare anytime between May 9th. And like I said, a few days up until the actual ballots go out. We will set a firm deadline on that in the next month or two. But in order to declare your candidacy, what you're going to do is you're going to email admin@solidarity-party.org. And then most likely either the administrator or the secretary will get your email and will respond to you with a delegate statement for you to sign, or I'm sorry, a delegate agreement for you to sign, and a delegate statement for you to fill out. And the delegate statement is essentially your opportunity to write up about yourself and your vision for what you would like to do as a delegate. So then once you return those items, then you will be added to the ballot when that ballot goes out. And all of those statements will be sent out to all of the voters in the regions. And also, you'll be invited to the town hall for your region.
Yeah, and I'll bet you're probably also wondering what your region might be. If you tune in to let's see, what month are we in? February. If you tune in to the February National Committee meeting, the draft map for the delegate regions will be presented, and it will be available for public comment for the month leading up into the March meeting, where we will also declare the delegate ratio, which will help determine just how many delegates we elect to the convention. So you will have a chance to have some input if you look at the map and go, that's weird. You can make suggestions about how the different regions should look. I am not part of the team building that map, but in the past, the way it works is there will be a certain number of regions, possibly 4 to 6 regions, where states are clumped together and will vote on a common set of electors. If a state reaches a certain size, it pops out of those regional maps. States like Texas and California get to elect some delegates of their own outside of the regional system. But in general, we will have that map, the first draft, in February. You will have a chance to talk about it, provide input, and then we will vote on the official map and the delegate ratio that will decide how many delegates at the March meeting. All right. I think we have covered all of that territory, Bill. Do you have anything else you think we should add to the people? Anything else you want to say about what's going on right now?
No, I think we've pretty much covered it. So I think that'll do. Thanks, Shane. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Take care. And we look forward to getting this process rolling. And if you have any questions, you can email that address we talked about before, admin@solidarity-party.org. You can reach me at shane.hoffman@solidarity-party.org and Bill at wfleming, 1M, @solidarity-party.org. All right. Thank you. Bye.